While a lot of people who are for and are on the Trump train are trying to get others to abandon critical thinking and support with enthusiastic fervor Trump's State of the Union address, there were a couple occasions that got bipartisan support and applause. This one particular occasion is where Nazi Pelosi beat Mike Pence out of his chair, and it even got a round of standing, exuberant applause from the white-robed SJW Green New Steel nitwits. And this is very, very important for everybody who watches this to see.
We are supporting the hopes of Cubans, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans to restore democracy. The United States is leading a 59-nation diplomatic coalition against the socialist dictator of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro. Maduro is an illegitimate ruler, a tyrant who brutalizes his people, but Maduro's grip on tyranny will be smashed and broken. Here this evening is a very brave man who carries with him the hopes, dreams, and aspirations of all Venezuelans. Joining us in the gallery is the true and legitimate president of Venezuela, Juan Guaido. Mr. President, please take this message back to your family.
Okay, take a look at this. Nazi Pelosi beats Mike Pence out of his seat, and as the camera pans over the parasitic landscape of the halls of this joint session of criminal freedom tramplers, even the white-robed priestesses of the baby-killing leftist, Green New Steel climate change hoax apparatus stand to applaud the banker-anointed regime change president Juan Guaido. Before the fateful day of January 22nd, 2018, fewer than 1 in 5 Venezuelans had heard of Juan Guaido. Only a few months prior, the 35-year-old was an obscure character in a politically marginal far-right group closely associated with gruesome acts of street violence. Even in his own party, Guaido had been a mid-level figure in the opposition-dominated National Assembly, which is now held under contempt according to Venezuela's constitution. But after a single phone call from U.S. Vice President Mike Pence, Guaido proclaimed himself president of Venezuela. Anointed as the leader of his country by Washington's District of Criminals, this previously unknown political bottom dweller was vaulted onto the international stage as the U.S. selected leader of the nation with the world's largest proven oil reserves. And guys, we know it's always about the oil. Echoing the Washington consensus, the New York Slime's editorial board hailed Guaido as, quote, a credible rival to Maduro with a, quote, refreshing style and vision of taking the country forward. The Bloomberg News editorial board applauded him for, quote, seeking restoration of democracy, and the Wall Street Journal declared him, quote, a new democratic leader. Meanwhile, Canada, numerous European nations, Israel, and the bloc of right-wing Latin American governments known as the Lima Group recognized Guaido as the legitimate leader of Venezuela. Guys, it's the second verse, same as the first. Israel wants to use U.S. military might and power and covert operations to take over Venezuela to continue to prop up the petrodollar. And last night was just another opportunity for the Zionist power brokers to push the Guaido is the legitimate president of Venezuela narrative further into the collective minds of the unthinking masses. While Guaido seems to have materialized out of nowhere, he was in fact the product of more than a decade of assiduous grooming by the U.S. government's elite regime change factories. Alongside a cadre of right-wing student activists, Guaido was cultivated to undermine Venezuela's socialist-oriented government, destabilize the country, and one day seize power. Even though he's been a minor figure in Venezuelan politics, he's spent years quietly demonstrating his worthiness in Washington's halls of power. And guys, this is huge. This is another proof that America's master, Israel, is exercising great influence and power, which will amount to the removal of more of our freedoms and more of our wealth. Facts do not care about our feelings, guys. To continue to be ruled by our emotions and get swept away with a speech will end with the destruction of a lot of people as the bankers continue to consolidate power. If you disagree with this, leave your disagreements in the comments section below. If you agree, like and share this video with everybody you know everywhere you can on social media. I'll see you guys in the next heavily censored shadow ban video.